Karen. Go ahead, Karen. Where are you calling from?
Oregon. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi.
In the fact that we are assaulted on so many different levels, when you understand about the geoengineering and the toxins in our environment, the radiation, I am choosing to believe, and correct me please if I'm wrong, that ultimately, no matter what they throw at us, we are all created from that same divine essence that runs through us equally, and that possibly living consciously in gratitude is one of the best ways that we can deal with this, and to cultivate the habits of blessing our food and being open to the best without thinking, well, I've got to have a vaccine or I have to be talked into going to the doctor here, but somehow just living more simply, more consciously, and in the moment is one of the best ways to go about this. And then the second question is, how will we know when this transition really successfully occurs, or will we?
Okay, Karen, thanks. So the first part of your question, I totally agree. You know, if you are focused in the moment, if you do the mind quieting, you align your mind channels in the proper way, meaning you allow your consciousness to focus on the now. You're not worried about what job you're going to get, or what title you're going to get, or what have you. You are really, that's what I've been saying since the beginning of this call, is that understanding that you are an instrument of the divine today in this body. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to ever get another job. You don't have to do anything else. You are bringing this consciousness through your body, but you will only become aware of that if you are focused on the now, just like Karen has been saying. And so if you are in this alignment, then you will be you will be guided as to what to do in terms of, food or water or survival, if you want to call it. And what happens is that when you are in this alignment, your frequency is very high, because you raise your vibration to match a vibration of the universe. We talked about, for those who have been studying and reading, you get to a vibration of a minimum of 734 hertz up to 1,000 hertz. If you can maintain this vibration, then you can digest any food or any water or what have you, holding this vibration constantly. Now, of course, it's easier said than done. And so we fluctuate throughout the day. And that's the reason why we can't hold this for very long. But you have to believe that it works. You have to believe that it works. And reminders like this are excellent to know that it is the truth. If you focus your consciousness on this higher vibration, then, like Karen said, it's true. You can survive the toxins or what have you in this way. However, if you're running for the vaccines and running for this and that, you are coming out of fear. You're not trusting that your consciousness is capable of raising your vibration and keeping that alignment. And the fact that you are coming from a place of fear, just right there, will simply not work. So yes, to your first question. Now the second question was, how will we know that this transition has been successful? To me, if you are able to recognize what this transition is, then you will see evidence of its success everywhere you look. The idea is, right now, what's very confusing right now is that when you look at the events in the world, such as people revolting, government falling, the economy's this, the jobless that, we're so trained to think, oh my God, this is really, really, really bad. And so we're not trained we haven't learned to see beyond this human programming. And so if we understand, that's why if we pull away and understand that there's a divine plan at work, there's a bigger picture, a consciousness so massive that it's difficult to see through the normal human eyes. And so if you just allow your vibration to take you to that alignment, you will begin to sense this presence, this consciousness, this plan, and you will see the unfolding before your eyes. So right now, if I understand this principle and I can get my vibration to that higher range, then I can see that this transition is successful. Today it's successful. In the midst of all this revolution and all this talk of war and all this violence and this hatred and this and that, I still see evidence of this divine plan being successful. But I have to say, it's harder to do it now than a couple of years from now, where the momentum has moved us to a little bit different period. And so we will be able to see more of that evidence that this transition has been successful a little bit down the road. But the idea is we need this now. You can't wait for the outside reality to really tell you this is what it is. Look, you've been successful. This is the game is over, and this party won and this party lost. It's not like that. You create your reality every single day, and so because you do that, you have to really get to the frequency of the success of this transition through you. Every part of the day, you should begin to see or ask to see evidence of the success of this transition. Because if you can, then you have raised your own consciousness, your own vibration to that success, if that makes any sense. All right? Great question. Very good. All right, here we go. Next question. Go ahead, Mary.
Oh, Caroline, I didn't know I had my hand up, but I do have a question. Can you explain the difference between love and light? Are they the same? What could you say about that?
I mean, this is a very big question because it's a very vague question. I mean, when you say love, to me, it's a vibration. But what form of love? Are you talking about the principle of love, meaning the principle of creation, which is really innate in all of creation? Then that's one thing. Are you talking about love between humans? That's another thing. So your question is very, very vague. And the same thing with light. Okay, so are we talking about the frequency of light? You're taking, I think I recognize you, you're taking my course, the Healers program. So we talk about light as a form of energy. We talked about planetary light, galactic light, universal light. So it depends what you are, there's cosmic light. And so you have to reframe your question and to tell me. But regardless, everything is a vibration. Everything is consciousness. So even with this very vague question, light is a frequency. It's a form of consciousness, and so is love. Okay? All right. Next question. Anybody else? Okay. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down the questions. All right. Here's another question. I keep hearing about our bodies becoming light bodies or maybe vibrating at a different rate. Can you please elaborate if anything we can do to prepare our bodies? Yes, of course. And in fact, part of the reason for the physical symptoms that you are experiencing is the fact that your bodies, the cellular makeup of your bodies, meaning really the frequency range of every cell in your body is changing. So we also talked about your human brain being a perfect match to the configuration of the Earth grid. That's how, as a human, you can function here on the Earth. It's because you are matching the brain of the planet, so to speak, but it's in the shape of an Earth grid. So when you're human, you see reality in the three primary colors. You hear a particular frequency range. Animals do, humans do. You behave a certain way. You have a nervous system that is configured a certain way. So as a human, you function because of a configuration, an overall vibration that is coherent with the Earth grid. So I've been saying that there is a new Earth grid in place right now, and this new Earth grid, since it is coherent with your physical brain, then if we bring a new Earth grid that is different, then the configuration of your brain is going to change accordingly. And so the new Earth grid that is now coming together, it's being finalized, in fact, very, very, very shortly, and I'm talking weeks right now, is coming to a completion. And so this means it's like building a building, it's like it's the last floor, that's it, we're done. And when this happens, I'm talking as soon as November, every aspect of your physical brain, every cell in your physical brain has been reconfigured to the new frequency of the new Earth grid so that you can begin to function when the new Earth grid is completely in place. And so the transition between the two is what gives you symptoms. It makes you feel dizzy or feel very tired or confused or what have you. It's because we are unplugging your brain, your mind channels from the old frequency range to the new frequency range. And if we're doing that in your brain, then your physical body is also changing. So the configuration of your cells is shifting, and so is the configuration of your physical brain. And so that is how hopefully this transition has been in your physical body. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but again, if you understand that that's how you are evolving to the next layer, to the next level of being, then you can deal with it a little bit better. And the way you can, your question is what we can do to prepare our bodies. So I started this topic of Ascension the beginning of this year in January, and so you can, I've shared some specific tools that you can do so that your physical transition is not so difficult. And so you can go back from month to month and see if you can use some of these tools. But honestly, I have to tell you, it all goes back to the same thing, the connection. Your connection to source. As soon as you do the connection, your mind channel are pointed specifically in that vibration, and everything starts to happen. So it's almost like that energy knows exactly what you are needing at that time. So I would say, to simplify everything, you can go back and listen to the tools, but in the meantime, connect. That's why I did this meditation. It's free online. Connecting to source. It raises your vibration immediately, and it allows the transition to be much easier. All right, so next question. Can you elaborate on the energy behind 911? I guess 9/11. All right, so I don't know if it's really too relevant in a strange way, even though today is 9/11. But to me, I feel that this is part of the human collective understanding of how reality should be on the earth. We have to fight to achieve what we want. And so to me, it's a call for help. Honestly, speaking of 911 being the call for help in humans in a American country, in the United States. But so symbolically, it's kind of interesting. But to me, it's humanity calling for help to stop the way we're going about our reality, going about our business, which is based on fighting to get what we want. It's kind of a foreign concept to realize that you can get what you want without engaging with another person. You can get all the water you want. You can get all the food you want. You can get all the reality that you want without having to engage or force another to give it to you or to fight him for it. So to me, that's what 9/11 represents. The energy, it's funny that, on this day, to me, I don't relate that much to the celebrations or the ceremonies that much. To me, it's more of a symbolic call for help to really move to the next higher vibration of reality. All right? I hope this helps. All right. So Sayed's asking, if we don't have any symptoms, does that mean nothing is changing in you or that you are just able to cope with the change as well? Yes, I think it's you will go through periods where you will feel these things in your body, but you couldn't take them day in and day out. So some people will go through periods where they feel these symptoms very, very strongly, and then it will subside, and then it will come again. So the fact that you are not feeling anything right now, it doesn't mean that you're not transitioning. It just means that this is the time that you're taking a break, okay? So you are okay. All right. So then, of course, Daniel is saying 911 is also my birthday, so I have more of an emotional connection to that number. Right. Again, because we are so bombarded with the collective human understanding of how reality should be, it's very difficult to create our own reality, our own belief systems in the midst of this collective consciousness. And so you just have to really, that's why the connection raises your vibration beyond the human configuration. That's why I keep saying connect, do this connection. Now, some people say, but I already do meditation. This is not a meditation. This is not any meditation. If you want, you can still do your meditation. But I'm saying, do this particular connection, because this particular connection has a unique vibration that is consistent with the new configuration of the earth and source, the universal consciousness. You just have to try it and really allow it to be for you to feel the difference in frequencies that I'm talking about. All right, so because this is the time of transition, it is best to remain free of committed relationships such as marriage if we're single. For example, I'm confused about my romantic relationship and marriage right now. Is the dust going to settle, or will things get clear in the near future? I personally don't think this transition is connected to relationships in the sense that because of this transition, therefore, you should stay away from relationships. It's really a case by case. But what will happen is that if you truly honor your vibration and your alignment, meaning if you focus on that connection, then you will maintain, and if you're able to maintain that alignment and that connection, then that automatically will draw to you the persons, relationship, friends, or what have you, or will repel the people who are not aligned with your higher vibration at this particular time. So that's how you should be looking at this. Your particular situation has to do with your vibration. If you're vibrating low and in fear, you will remain in a relationship based on fear. And if you are vibrating in a place of full connection, full love, freedom, truth, beauty, goodness, then it's possible that you will leave the relationship you're in and attract a new person, or maybe not, just take a break for a while, okay? All right, approximately when will the current economic system collapse and a new system or currency will start taking shape? Again, you guys, this is what it looks like a projection at this time. This is the way I am seeing it at this time. This is not a psychic prediction in the sense that that you have to go out, and it's continuously being choreographed by the humans who are in charge of that system. It's almost like it's their free will. If they want to keep the game going and things like that, they can still stretch it in one way or another. However, I feel at this time that there will be another big shock that will come, some sort of announcement, some sort of big collapse. I mean, it has been collapsing, but something a little bit more drastic sometime this fall, but will continue to trigger more and more collapses for another year. That's how I am seeing it at this particular time. So let's see if those humans who are manipulating this consciousness or moving these things around, if they will stick to this calendar. Okay, here we go. What do you feel? What or do you feel the geophysical impact will be from comet Ellen over? Sorry, I'm not understanding. Over the next few months. Okay, so okay, for the comet. Okay, so I feel there will not be such a big impact in the sense of what we see, like in the movies or in the news and things like that. I think it's more of an energetic, massive shift and impact. It's more thinking along those terms, and by that time, the Earth is in a different geographical configuration. So that's how I feel. All right. So let's see here. Who else? John, your hand is up. Is anybody on the phone wanting to speak? If you do, you press *6 so that we can hear your voice. Hi there. We have a question. Please speak up.
Hi, Caroline. It's Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Great. I have a question about healing. Using the OMnium Method as the new reality and you get stronger, will using the OMnium Method of healing be more and more productive, direct, straightforward, understandable by more people? And ultimately, when we're actually fully into the new reality, will this form of healing still be needed?
Okay, so I am teaching this method because I believe that it's the fastest and the most profound, and it's more complete because it works on a cellular level. So to me, this method of healing is still needed, especially now. As you know, being in those who are taking my class understand, we are manifesting immediate results, immediate, spontaneous shifting from conditions every single day. Wouldn't you say so, Kim?
Absolutely. I was just wondering if we would see a kind of change at all. Will it be different as things change? I guess that's really my question.
Okay, so therefore, right now, it's very relevant, again, to say that in one day, as soon as, one event happens, this is no longer needed. No, you will still just like anything else, it's a transition. And so therefore, throughout the transition, the need for such a healing will continue until the entire human consciousness is at a completely different level, at which time people will immediately recognize the misaligned information in their cells immediately and will shift it. And we talked also about the new configuration of the human brain will not have will not have a subconscious mind. The frequency of where the brain waves allow you to store information that you are not aware of, and that's where you get in trouble, because you are storing information that is telling you, I'm not good enough, I cannot succeed, I need to be in competition to succeed, or I'll feel better if I have a house or a car or what have you, or a relationship and stuff like that. So all of this is the consciousness, the part of your consciousness that we call the subconscious mind, that is storing this information in your cells, and that's how you get sick. Your cells did not have this information. You did not come in as a baby thinking, okay, now I got to get a house so I can feel better about myself and I am accepted by my friend. This came after years and years of being on the earth as a human and learning the human belief systems and the human ways. So the physical brain, as it changes with the new configuration of the new earth grid and your physical cells changing, your whole human configuration will change, at which time, when information comes in that is misaligned, you as a new human, you recognize it immediately. It does not get stored in your cells without your knowing, your knowledge, and it will bounce right back. And so it's just kind of like taking a shower. You go out, you're working in the garden, you get dirty, you come in, you take a shower, you're done. But then the next day, if you are jogging or doing something else, you come in, you take a shower, and you're done. So you always go back to the 0 point, to this clean slate every single day. You never get sick, you see. So it's not that it will not be needed in one day. It will eventually fade out or fade into or transmute into the ability to maintain a 0 point frequency of all your cellular makeup. And that's what you're being taught right now anyway in the OMnium Method. So you'll spend much less time undoing and clearing, and it will shift more into maintaining the health, the vibrational frequency of the cell. All right?
Wonderful. Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Another question is from Henry. Do some of us have a different brain configuration regardless of the new grid system coming into closure? Yes, of course. Everybody has a different brain configuration. We all function as a human. We look as humans. Most of us do anyway. And so, but of course, the configuration is always slightly different. And that's what makes you very unique. So your vessel will always be different because of your brain configuration. The way source energy, the way the cosmic light, the cosmic information comes through your brain and comes out is going to be very different than the person next door and the person next door, and so on and so forth. So the configuration of the brain of every single person is going to be different. Also, a lot of you have come from different places. Some of you are from this planetary system. Others are originally from other places within the universe. Some of you are from different galactic places. And so within your human physical brain, you also have that unique little additional configuration that will always be unique to you. So of course, it will be very different. Okay. All right, so another quick question. We're going to wrap this up very quickly. Will everyone be rewired to the new Earth grid regardless of their consciousness? This is a great question, and a question that we get all the time. What about the people who are not aware? What's going to happen? What's going to happen is that it's almost like there's this new energy, there's this new consciousness that's coming. It's really up to you. The more you are aware of it, the more you acknowledge, the more you trust, the more you are doing the work, the easier it's going to be. You're just going to move right into it, and it'll be very easy. Now, some people who sense something, but they're afraid, they don't understand, whatever. It's almost like by default, they will kind of be, bumped up to that new higher frequency. But because they have not been aware, it's almost like it's a little bit of a jolt. It's a little bit more uncomfortable because it hasn't been familiar to them during all this time. And of course, some people who are aware and have been consciously resisting this upgrade in the frequency range, this upgrade of the brain configuration, human configuration, cellular configuration, are going to have a much rougher time. All right, so we'll see what happens. And so yes, the upgrade is going to happen regardless of the consciousness. What you're asking is, how will the person feel or react? And that will depend on what they've been doing so far. All right. Hello, John. I believe you're from Australia. I wish you had a microphone so we can hear your voice, but I guess not. All right. Connecting with Source, I am confused to find also our central suns and black hole together in the center of the universe. Any comments? Yeah. So, this is John. No, sorry. This is John from The Hague. Hello, my dear. Okay. So, the central suns is at the center of this galaxy, and there is what we call a black hole is the 0 point. There's a 0 point at the center of all physical life. So the galaxy is a consciousness. It's a physical form. It has a 0 point, which is the black hole. So when I say you connect to Source, you don't necessarily connect to the black hole or you go through the black hole. You connect with the consciousness of the center, meaning Source, the center of the universe. So I highly recommend that you be very specific and say, I am connecting to the frequency of Source at the center of the universe. And if you do this exercise, you can say, connecting to the consciousness of the central suns at the center of the galaxy, and you will feel the difference. You should anyway. So do the exercises online that are free. There's a bunch of links with these different connections and these different exercises. And you will feel the difference between central suns, which is at the center of the galaxy, and the Source, which is what I'm talking about, that you should be connecting to, which is at the center of the universe. Okay. All right. What is your definition of ascension? Okay, Karen, I think you may have joined recently, because this entire year since January, we've been focusing on ascension, and I spoke about this in great detail. So please go back to the webcasts from January. It's totally free of charge on the website. Just go from January on. You will hear all the explanation I have on the ascension, how it works, the different levels, the different layers, how to deal with it, and all that good stuff. All right? All right. This is our last question for the day. When we do a connection in a crowded bus or room and create a sacred space, is there a co-creation taking place because of all the other people nearby, or can I somehow create my sacred space independent of the others around? Yeah, of course you can. Through your intent, you can simply create a sacred space for yourself, or through intent and purposely, you can create you can co-create with the other people with you in the bus or the crowded area. And so my point is, through your intent, you can pretty much have the experience that you want, just for yourself or for everybody around you. And it will be a very different experience. So you may want to try that in both ways for you to discern the difference between the two. Okay, we're going to stop right here. I hope this has been helpful. Folks, again, for those who are new, please go back, listen. And also, I really, really look forward to seeing you on those group connections. It's going to be so powerful and so fun while you understand more what is really happening. And we continue to work together this way and feel more connected. So I thank you for your time today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Thank you so much, and have a great day.